Hi, welcome to Lothlorien Dog Services, and here's a tutorial on getting your dog's focus and attention through distractions. What you're going to need is at least 60 reinforcers that are half the size of your pinky nail, and they're high value. You're going to need a bait bag to keep them in so that you can get the food out quickly and it's nice and accessible, so there's no rustling of bags in your pockets, etc. And you're also going to need a clicker or a word marker and a dog that is already savvy using these, because this is what is going to mark the behaviour. So we're going to start in a low distraction environment, and we're going to begin by clicking and reinforcing anytime the dog looks at me or looks towards me. So every time Flea looks at me, I'm going to click and then I'm going to reinforce. This makes me relevant within the environment and makes me more reinforcing than things going on round about him. Now the object is, you have to get rid of your 60 reinforcers in less than 10 minutes. If you don't get rid of 60 reinforcers in 10 minutes, it means that you need to stay where you are and you need to try it again another day. However, if you're going through those reinforcers really quickly, that then tells you you can collect that data and say, I can now move on to a higher distraction environment. And if we do it this way and we keep it nice and simple, it means that we can keep information at exactly what our dog is capable and able to do. Now, we don't cue this behaviour, we don't say anything, we don't say the dog's name, we don't ask for attention. We are looking for the dog to give it to us freely and for the dog to learn that it's more reinforcing to be around us. So once they get quite savvy at that, you can then move and start adding in distractions. So we've started in a sort of milder distraction. If you find your dog is finding it difficult, then start at home and start in the garden. So just now we are in a car park and it's quite early morning. It's not too busy, but we do expect to see people. So every time Flea looks at me, I'm going to click and reinforce. So coming in here, we have a distraction. We have two people walking. And I want to make sure that Flea is more focused and engaged on me. And how I do this is by showing him. Stick with me and I'll keep clicking and reinforcing. And that allows people to walk by him without him pulling towards them or mobbing them. Now, if they had made moves to come over and speak to him, that would be absolutely fine. If your dog is accepting of people talking to them, then that's fine. But these people just walked on by, so it was ideal.
Learning to focus through distraction.
So Flea's focus remained on me. So now we're going to go up a level, because I felt like he was doing quite well. And it took us less than 10 minutes to get rid of his 60 reinforcers. So here we are on a busy high street, and this is likely to be more challenging for him. So once again, every time he looks at me, I will click and reinforce. When you're at this stage, the dog will start to be understanding the game. And we want them to look at the world round about them. As you can see, he's standing nice and steady. So then we get to see coming up here a person walking by, and Flea just completely ignores him, looks back at me and gets clicked and then reinforced. Now this lady chose to speak to him, which is absolutely fine. So he goes over, he says hi. Now the minute he disengages from that woman, I click and I reinforce. To be honest, this is not one of the most exciting training methods that you can use, but it is very effective and it helps the dog understand. You want to gradually increase the distractions, and if your dog is easily aroused by other dogs, I would suggest starting with people only first and then working up towards dogs as they become better versed at it. So coming in here, there is a man coming along the street who I know, and I know quite well. So he decided to stop and chat. Now, I could have made the decision here to stop my training, but instead I use this as a training opportunity. Every opportunity is an opportunity to learn. So I'm going to ask Flea for anything, but every time he engages with me rather than the man, I'm going to click and reinforce. And you will notice very quickly Flea detaches and disengages from that man. He is no longer not interesting, and I am much more reinforcing. And this is how we can get a dog to maintain focus. And we don't always have to use food. Once the dog gets really good at the behaviour, the food can be dropped out because it becomes a learned behaviour then, where a dog isn't interested in other people, he is not scared of them, he is not curious of them, he is not nervous of them, they just exist. And this is what we would call habituation. He habituates to the world round about him, but I am the most reinforcing element there. I will show you when we tear up and we introduce this to dogs. But I'll leave you with that just now, and happy training, and please have a wonderful weekend. Thanks for watching.